Okay, guys, let's get into some of this legal terminology so that we can get a better idea of what kind of woman this lady was, Judge Tricia Bigelow, and what Tom and her relationship was like, because this is kind of uncharted territory. We haven't heard her really make any statements. We know that she's remarried. Their affair lasted from 2012 to 2016. She, doesn't really, of course, make any statements to the press about it. We don't know what kind of gifts she returned. She returned them to the trustee, guys. I went through that with you, but I wanted to go over a couple of things first. She's retired, okay? But she was pretty connected. I know I remember, but I don't know if everyone remembers when Schwarzenegger became I don't even know what his status was in California. Was he the governor of California? Anyways, she worked with him and he actually promoted her. And she was a pretty big time. She was pretty big time, guys. Let's go over some of this. Also important to know that everything in this video, of course, is alleged. So this is her. There's a couple sneaky things here, guys. First of all, number one, LA Times listed the wrong name for her husband, which is not like the LA Times, but they definitely listed the wrong name as the husband. She has some different websites because I think she's done sort of, I don't know what kind of legal work she's done after she retired. So she pops up on a lot of different websites and she gives a lot of different descriptions about her life, her retirement, and her new husband. But one of the most interesting things about her new husband, guys, is, I'm not even lying, he dressed up in a armor suit with a white horse when he proposed to her. And I'm going to give you, she talks about it in two different websites, if you will, about this proposal. So she's very, very proud of it. And she makes sure to kind of squeeze it in there when she talks about her new husband, who is Frank Bennett. And he is a retired attorney in California as well. I just want to get to the part. So she says Arnold Schwarzenegger nominated her as the presiding justice in the same district and division. She spent the remainder of her judicial career from 2010 to 21. And she retained her position as an associate justice and later presiding justice, and she won by like 70%. It's interesting, though, because we know that Tom and Erika donated towards a lot of judges and politicians to their campaigns. So that's funny that she lists the actual numbers in there. She says, here's the engagement part, guys. Here's one of the engagement scenarios, she says. First, she says, I will certainly miss my time on the bench, but I have plenty of things in my personal life to appreciate, including my life with my husband, Fred G. Bennett, who performed the loveliest but dorky proposal ever, where he literally showed up on a beach dressed as a knight in shining armor and asked for my hand. I made a lot of friends and a lot of acquaintances across my long history in law, and I'm excited to see where the new blood will carry me. Sorry, guys. Low battery light. Yeah. Okay. She says it again in another article. Oh, I want to find it for you. Anyways, she had a good position. She had a good job. But again, if you look at this from a legal perspective, I don't know how to describe it, because she's kind of like saying, yes, I had an affair with him, and yes, he bought me things, and here they are, but we have to take her word on it, and it's just very strange how they're making moves, right? And we know how the law world is, and everyone's affiliated with everyone, and she's married to an attorney, and she was a judge, and she was sleeping with Tom Girardi, who had endless amounts of resource freaking money, and connections, okay? That's a big deal. She claims that she's, advocated for, victims her whole time, and she wants to see them made whole, but I just don't know if I really believe that. She received a check in 2017 for $5,000 and another one for $10,000, so that's $15,000. Now, we don't know if she returned that money or not. I don't think that she did, because she said that it was after the affair had ended, so that's why she didn't think she needed to pay it back. That's wild, guys. That is so wild. I'm very curious what their relationship was like. She seems, like I said, you can Google her, guys, and you're going to find a lot of stuff. I think she tries to loop us a little bit, though, because the name of the husband was listed wrong in one of the articles. It was either LA Times or Reality Blurb, which I think was to throw us off track. And also, I think, like I said, she does private consolidations, and so she probably doesn't mind the traffic going to her website and people that are kind of looking her up. Erika, of course, she said he was paying her Saks bills and paying for her plastic surgery, so she's immediately alluding to the fact that Tom was giving her money, paying her bills, and buying her lavish plastic surgery procedures and possibly jewelry. Who knows? Also, I wanted to tell you guys there was something else that I wanted to tell you because I thought it was very important to understand that she was outed really because of Erika. But would she have came forward if not? Would she have said, Tom Girardi gave me $15,000. I'm not going to pay it back because the checks were after we were having an affair. The new report claims that Tricia stepped down from her position in 2021 and handed her the gifts as an inquiry and a couple of checks Tom wrote to her, including $10,000 to $15,000 from an account that he previously shared with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erika Jayne. So he was cheating on her, paying for her let's say the other lady's plastic surgery, and he was paying for it out of their joint checking account, which is really funny because Erika always said she didn't have access to any money. So how can you have a joint checking account that Tom's rating $15,000 out of, but you don't have access to anything? That makes zero sense. Judge Bigelow does not want anything even potentially connected with the monies Girardi took from his clients. And then Tricia's attorney, Alan Jackson, told Los Angeles Times on Thursday after the outlet asked for an explanation of the checks, which were reportedly given to her in 2017. While the attorney, he didn't describe what the gifts Tricia received from Tom Girardi, they called him Thomas, which was a little strange, nor did he reveal how much it was worth. He did note that their relationship ended before the checks were written and claimed there was no record after either of the checks were cashed. So I guess they're alluding to the fact the checks weren't cashed. Alan went on to say that Tricia was reportedly engaged in a romantic relationship with Tom, they say Thomas again, which began in 2012 and ended in 2016. Believed Tom was a successful attorney and never thought that the gifts she received were purchased with monies belonging to the clients. She is horrified and appalled that she was unknowingly a recipient of tainted gifts, he said, confirming Judge Bigelow degorged all the gifts she was aware of over the last 2 days. Another thing I think is really kind of weird. September of 2016 is when their affair ended. I don't have my phone in front of me, but I feel like, when did Erika come on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? I feel like it was right around that time, and that really corroborates everything we've heard from Tom Girardi, who said that he hated reality TV. He told all of his clients, don't do it, don't do reality TV, it's not worth it, especially if you're doing anything that could be perceived as illegal. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then years later he ends up going on with Erika. And so people were shook over that. They really, really were shook because he was, so dirty. I think potentially he thought that Erika was going to become a big star. In my head, I kind of wonder if he thought that if he put all of this money into Erika and made her a star, basically, think about it. If you have all the money in the world and you take a decent looking blonde woman who wants to be a trophy wife and wants to, get out and be a singer, and you put all of the money in her clothes, her makeup, her hair, people to train her how to act. I told you guys when they did the report on the credit card that Erika was using, they used a company who basically found the demographics of people that would like Erika Jayne. Like, what areas should she go? Where should she travel? Where is she going to get the best, most welcome people, and where could she make fans at? And the answer was the LGBTQ community. But if you have all the money in the world to make somebody famous, you would think that you could make him famous, right? Like, he probably thought he was going to get his return 10 times over. That's what I think. And I think whenever he invested all of that money, we saw some of it on the show, guys, but she had already had a lot of training, a lot of plastic surgery before she came onto the show, okay? I think that Tom paid a lot more money to get her off her feet. She had already made a music video by the time she came on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So it makes sense that maybe he thought he was going to get a really big return on her. And when he didn't get a return on her, he panicked because he owed all of this money to all of these people. So he thought, hey, F it, let's go on the Real Housewives. Maybe that will help your singing career. How can this not, this has to help your singing career. And it didn't. And so she pivoted and she wrote a book and it was okay and allegedly made the New York Times bestseller list. But we don't know if that's accurate because we know that they go off of the amount of books that are sold. And so it's really easy for really rich people to buy a large amount of books. They'll purchase from different addresses, different IPs, and then it looks like you're on the LA Times bestseller list, but really you're not. That's probably likely what happened here, considering that they bought everything else in their life. It would make sense that they bought the LA Times bestseller list as well. Anyway, guys, I want to know what you think. Please make sure you comment below and let me know what you think about this Judge Bigelow returning all of the gifts that Tom Girardi allegedly gifted her the time that they were together, which was 4 freaking years. So I think Erika is dying to know what he bought her, even though he was lavishing Erika and she said herself she was in a wealth coma after marrying Tom. I still think that she is jealous and she's upset at this woman, and I'm sure there's many, many, many more. I do wonder how much she knew. I mean, if Kyle said that she had heard it, Erika is not a stupid woman. She's not a stupid woman at all. But she doesn't make the best decisions. I mean, look at how Tom treated her at that dinner when they were filming with LVP and he got upset with her for speaking. So if he's like that in front of the cameras, imagine what kind of an asshole he was behind closed doors. I mean, my God, I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyway, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn those notifications on. There's much more content coming. There's so much going on. Louis Bareilles just posted talking about his job. I want to get into that with you guys. And there's just a lot of things that we have to talk about that I missed this week. So comment below and have a great day.